Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Tuesday the 6th of June and I'm coming to you with a midweek cross-stitching update this time round. Got the day off work, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to film this. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. I hope you're well and are enjoying your stitching. Thanks to all my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. Got a fair bit of stitching to share today. Plus I went to the VicStitches retreat, gosh, a couple of weekends ago now, time flies. So I'll share a bit about that at the end as well. I am way behind on responding to comments at the moment. I know I'm not the only Flosstuber who gets a bit that way. I do really appreciate those of you who take the time to leave a comment, and I will get there eventually. So just bear with me. Okay. I got plenty to go through. I think we're just going to jump in. The first piece of stitching I'm going to show you isn't cross stitch, but I finished my Sashiko drawstring bag. Fully finished it. So here's the bag all finished. I think I hadn't put this on last time. So it came with these little doohickeys that you clamp on with pliers, and then it also came with this sort of waxed cord that you feed through the loops, and then you construct these little, they called them tulips. I did not really get what I was supposed to do, but that's them, they're fine, they can be used to pull it tight. So yeah, really cute little bag. This is the sheet that was in the kit if you're interested. I got it from my local quilt store. And I think I mentioned before, it's qhtextiles.com. Looks to be a wholesale website, so you might have to ask around at your local craft store if you're interested in doing something like that. It came as a partial kit. It had the fabric with the pattern printed on it, and it had the cord and these things, which are called Koki, K-O-K-I, and then had the fabric to make these. That's got a little bit of polyfill in it, and I bought the lining fabric and the thread I used to stitch it. Housed in my little bag at the moment is my other Sashiko project. So I am a cross stitcher if you're new. I'm just dabbling in this craft and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. So there is plenty of cross stitching to come. But I'm in a block of the month club. I had a lot of questions about this. So the company is, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's BB Bold. I'll pop the name here, bbbold.com. It's an Australian shop. Online store, and it looks like they've got like a branch in France as well. This particular club that I'm in, it's called Stepping Stones Block of the Month, and it all comes together and you make a quilt by the end of it. It's sold out. I guess they have to know how many packs they need to make up and send out. But I think it's the second time they've done it, so keep an eye, if you like it, keep an eye on that site because they may well run it again, and there's also loads of other beautiful patterns projects on that site. So I have started the second block in my block of the month. It's called Ocean Waves and it's really fun. I did most of that, possibly all of that, on the train coming back to Melbourne after the retreat the other day, and it was funny, I had something else with me identifying me as a vet. It was just a little freebie power bank I got at a vet conference. Anyway, I had it plugged in at my seat on the train, and the fellow next to me was asking about it, and then he saw the whopping great needle I was using and asked me if I was practicing my suturing, which is pretty funny. That takes me back to when I used to do large animal work. You do not use needles like that in small animals. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. They send out a little parcel every 2 months. I'm not going to keep up at all, but I'll just keep slowly putting some stitches in. It's very relaxing. Love it. Really, really fun. And from the comments, it sounds like plenty of you are also into that craft too. Okay, so onto cross stitching now. This is a cross stitching channel. First up, I have my mermaid pieces. So in May, I focused on mermaids. I joined Emma X Stitching and Jo VicStitches for their Mermania 2023 stitch along. I'm absolutely rubbish at posting on social media. That is just a given now. But anyway, I have continued stitching on my mermaids, even if I haven't shared any updates. So the first one I worked on was Mermaid's Folly by Courtney Collection. And I'll pop a photo in of where I was at the start of the month. I did show this last time because I worked on this in the first week of May and then again in the third. But really happy with where I got to. It's on a very large piece of fabric. Hang on a second. I could have prepared a bit better. Here we are now. Is it focusing? Can't tell. So I finished this whole column of pages in May. I'll bring it in a little bit. It's on 40 count linen in Murky by Picture This Plus. And I'm stitching it 1/2 full crosses with DMZ 3371. Now the great thing about where I'm up to, hopefully I can point it out, that's the tip of the dragon's nose, and then I think these are his claws. Yeah. So I've just done the tip of the nose and the claws here. So I think next time, I think I'll come back this way. So I did that one. I think I'll come back this way and work on this column. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Comes together nice and quickly with being one colour. There is a bit of counting involved, but yeah, liking that one. I'm not sure if it was out of print for a while, but in the last maybe year, I've seen a lot of people posting that they have the pattern on online, so I'd love to see some other people working on it. If you are, let me know. Okay, my second project, oops. My second mermaid project is RTO's Red Mermaid. Let me just grab the photo. Beautiful piece. This was a new start in May. Again, I shared it last time. I only did a little bit more. I think possibly just that afternoon. I worked on it for a little bit longer. But I'll show you where it's up to now. So that's on 32 count Outback Sky by number 12 Sashiko. Sorry, mental blank there for a second. Again, also really enjoying working on this one. On the weekend at VicStitches, I got to catch up with Deb Wilson, who's also stitching this, and we popped our pieces together because she started on the body. I'll pop a photo up here. So it gives you a bit of an idea of how she's going to look. I think she's going to look amazing. Deb is doing hers on 32 count Sorcerer linen from Colour Cascade Fabrics, which is the same colourway that I showed I was considering, and I went for this one instead. But hers is far less, like it's a more uniform colour, I guess, whereas mine was really contrasty between the dark and the light blue. Hers is also on a 36 count, whereas mine, sorry, yeah, I said 32, I think. Hers is on a 36 count. So it's going to be a bit smaller, but I don't think you can really tell in that photo. But yeah, that was really fun to have them together. Not sure when I'll get back to this one, but hopefully sooner rather than later. See. And my last mermaid for May, I can't remember if I mentioned this last time. I'm stitching the Mermaid of Salem Bay by the Primitive Hare. I'll pop a photo in. And I've had my eye on the Primitive Hare, some of the Primitive Hare mermaids for ages, just never got around to doing anything about starting or even getting supplies. And then Jo Blue She Stitches mentioned that she was going to start it, and love a good start along, so I thought that was the perfect excuse to start it. Then I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get the supplies in time because I really wanted to do it on the called for fabric. But it all came together. So the called for fabric is, it's called Pirates, and it is from the Primitive Hare. There we are. So it's got that printed ship on there, and I just really wanted to do it on there. It's a 30 count and you stitch 2 over 2. And that is my start. So pretty much done. I haven't done any backstitch or beading. There's a few beads in it. But I've pretty much done all of her tail, and I'm up to her torso. And it comes over here with her body and her head and hair. It's really nice to stitch on 30 count. I don't think I've ever done that before. Something interesting with this piece, I think often you get drawn to a project from the cover photo on the pattern, and it's usually like a model stitch. And often like you're drawn to it because the colours are beautiful as well as the actual design. But this is a good example of where the called for colours might not look like the model when you get them. And I don't know, sometimes it might be that the photo's been edited and adjusted, or there's just different dye lots in the threads. So my start looks very different to the model. I'm fine with it, by the way, I don't mind at all. But like if you had your heart set on what that picture looked like, you might be disappointed. This blue is much lighter on mine. I think this is much more purple, and this colour, like there's barely any variegation. And I think it's that one, in the model, her hair, this colour features in her hair, and there's a small amount, but the model stitch, it looks like there's a lot of different colour changes. And funnily enough, Jo and I attempted through a computer screen, because we were on opposite sides of the world, but we attempted to compare our threads, and hers are quite different to mine. So hers are a bit more variegated, but they're also different to the photo in the pattern. So it's just a good example of, I guess, if you've got your heart set on a particular colourway, check the called for threads when you get them, and if they're not quite right, you might need to do some experimenting, I guess, and research, and try and find the colours that match it if that's what you're after. But all of that to say, I don't mind at all. I think she's going to look brilliant. And I'm not sure, am I about halfway through, I think? She might be the first, she'll definitely be the first finish of the 3. So that was a lot of fun. I think I'd planned to work on Mermaid's Folly this month, and then Jo and Emma mentioned that they were going to do all mermaids, so I just jumped on the bandwagon and really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So that's my mermaid stitching. Now I've got my non-mermaid stitching since last video. This is the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. I have set myself a goal, like a target stitch count each month of 4,000 a month, because I want to finish this by the end of July. And very happy to say I am on target. It was a bit touch and go there. I think I hit my May target on the 30th of May. And then I went past it, so let's have a look. And again, like always, this one is freshly creased for your enjoyment. There it is. It's at 87%. So in May, not sure if you can hear the chainsaw in the background. That's great timing. I thought that was a weekend thing. People use chainsaws and blowy things on the weekend, not on a Tuesday. Gee, rude. Right, so in May, I actually can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I did all of this. I might have finished off these. And then I came over and I got stuck into the frog. And I just have to finish his back legs, really. So I did about 5,000 stitches in May, and I've got 7,300 to go. So I could do less than 4,000 this month and still be okay for next month. So we'll just see, but I'm so close. Just that bottom right corner to go. It's on 36 count. Now I've been saying platinum linen all this time because that's what they told me it was at the shop I bought it from, but we compared the linen with some known platinum the other weekend, and I don't think this is. So this can just be 36 count mystery fabric, and it silks for you PR011 and PR140 for the letters. All right, next one is LolaCrowCrossStitch's Greenhouse of Oddities. This is a mystery stitch along. I am woefully behind and I've just accepted, and it's fine that I won't be able to catch up, but I'll just keep doing bits and pieces as I can. I'll pop a photo in of where I was before, and then what I attempted to do at VicStitches was put in really basic framework so that no matter where the first release, that she's calling them plantings, wherever the first planting is on the whole pattern, I can hopefully find it without having to count too far. So I ended up doing a lot of half stitches, and the way I counted was I do 9 half stitches and then a cross. So every 10th stitch I did a full cross. So you'd think that I wouldn't lose my way, but I did. I overshot one side of it and went down 10 stitches too far, and then it wasn't meeting up and I couldn't work out what was going on. There was frogging involved, and there's still threads hanging out, as you'll see. I don't normally park, but these are like frogged threads by the look of it. I don't know what I was doing. And then funnily enough, the first planting was in a location where I could have just started based on what I'd already done. Anyway, there's I think two lots out now, and they're really great. They're really interesting, unique creatures and plants. So this is where I'm up to. I know, I know. And this is the problematic side. Just could not get it to meet up. And yeah, I took it down 10 stitches too far, which is why those threads dangling are so curly, because they've been frogged. I don't know. I don't like dangly threads. That annoys me. I'm going to have to fix that. But I started the first planting just, which is a cute little owl. When I decided I wanted to stitch that, I then realised I hadn't brought any of the threads with me to the retreat. So Deb Wilson was at my table. Thank you, Deb. She had everything I needed except for one thread. So there's the little owl. It still needs its back stitch, and you can see there's 4 stitches missing. And Deb didn't have that thread, but Anne did, so I've got a little strand of Anne's threads just to finish that. So it's my little friendship owl, I think. But poor, that was a bit of a journey to get to that. Yeah, looking forward to keeping on working on that when I feel like it. It's on 32 count Belfast linen in French pear by number 12 Stitch Co. It's quite green, never really shows up very well. Okay, my next one, there's still a couple left. I worked on Kristi's Corner's Toot Your Own Horn, or Medieval Butt Trumpet. It is the second in her series of medieval marginalia, where she has taken artwork that was in medieval manuscripts in the sidelines and the margins and converted it to cross stitch. And they're just so silly and random and so unique. Like I like that I'm not seeing, like, not everyone in the stitching community is working on these, like some patterns that go viral. I quite like to do different things, and this is just really fun to stitch. So last time I'd put in 60 stitches and then Jo mentioned that she was motoring along. I'm stitching this with Jo from Blue She Stitches, and so I felt a bit guilty that I'd neglected it. So I've put in another, I think 1700 stitches. That's where it is now. It's on 40 count Swiss Coffee by Colour and Cotton, 1/2. I think I'm not very far into it, maybe a fifth of the way through, 20% or something. There is some metallic, well, there's 2 options to stitch, one with metallic thread and one without. I think I might do a combination of both, but we'll see. I'm not quite to that yet. That is all stitched. Don't know if you can see. That was great to stitch while watching, I can't even remember what I was watching, something on TV where I needed to actually be looking at the screen a bit, not just listening. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Okay, and then I have my Mill Hill kit. So this is one that I just have with me and pull out as when I feel like it. It is Cheers. And pretty happy to report that, sorry, just getting it organised. I finished all the cross stitches and I've made a start on the beading. So I don't know how well you can see, these are all beads. It's very shiny in real life. And it will come across and say, you can sort of see, yeah, cheers in those blue beads. there's still beads to go in the glass of champagne too. Yeah, that's really fun. Now there's a lawnmower, so I'm just gonna carry on. Okay, my last whip that I've been working on, so June, not July, we're in June now, and I'm trying to focus on my largest project, Firefly. I'll pop a photo in of what it looks like. It's artwork by J Parks, and it's charted and kitted by Gecko Rouge. I took this with me to VicStitches. I wasn't sure if I would, but I had a few requests. I took it in my hand luggage because there's no way I wanted it to go missing in a suitcase. So it's my precious. And, oh, just lost needles. I'm getting a bit of a special visitor. This is someone you never see on my videos. What do you want? This is Jemima. Jemima. She's my grumpy old lady. She's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, come to say hello. I don't know what Reggie's up to. Anyway, you sit there. Good girl. Anyway, where was I? I took Firefly to the retreat, and I figured that, like, if I was going, I don't really share it with other people in real life except the odd sort of family friend, and they like it, but they're not necessarily stitchers and can't really appreciate the work that goes into it. So I did think it would be nice to take it to VicStitches and share it with other like-minded people. And then I put it on the brag table, and then I like ran away. I didn't really want to see people talking about it. I don't know, I felt really self-conscious. Anyway, I had so many lovely people come up to me and say that they'd seen it and they're excited to see it in real life. So thank you. It was really nice. And the most common comment I got about it was, it looks bigger in real life than it does on these videos. So that was interesting. But yeah, I'm glad to have taken it, and perhaps I might take it next year with maybe another cat done. We'll see. So in this seating situation, there's no way I'm going to be able to show it all at once, but let's just bring it up. There's the captain. Oh my gosh. I mean, it is huge. And I'm focusing on River, the cat called River, this year. I'll pop a photo in of where it was at the start of the month, because I have done about 5 days of stitching on it in June so far. And I wasn't really sure, I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't stitched on it much this year, and I wasn't feeling completely enthused about it. I don't know why. I don't know why, but as soon as I started stitching on it, loved it. So that's a relief. So photo of where it was, and I've made pretty decent progress. I've stitched on it for about 4 or 5 days, and I put in about, so 5 days, sorry, 3,800 stitches. The ears are no joke, like that's the 5th and the 6th ear I've done on this piece, and they're all full of confetti. But look at the effect you get. And even like this is that little tufty bit they have at the base of their ear. It's just really cool. So now I'm on to the head here, and I'm doing what I've done previously. I'm sort of focusing on stitching everything above like the next red line. So everything above will get stitched, and then I'll move down, but not keeping it really strict lines, just going where the needle, where the stitches take me. So I mean the ear was slow going, and then this sped, like sort of sped up a little bit in here. and that's given me real motivation, I guess, to keep going. The lines you can see are pages. I have gridded that with Sulky Sliver, the metallic thread. Don't really ask me why I did that, but I decided I needed to do it before I started, and they're there now. But yeah, so I guess in another week it would be great if I could stitch everything above that line. That's kind of my goal for the next week. So really happy with how this project's coming along. What else? So that's all my stitching since my last update. Now I've got some goodies to show from the retreat. So, I haven't really thought about what I was going to say. I was kind of cajoled into going to VicStitches by some friends, and it was good. I really needed that break. That was so nice to catch up with friends, reconnect with people that I met last year, and then also meet lots of new people as well. So I really thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. Thank you to my lovely host who had me stay for the weekend. Getting there involved flying to Melbourne and then getting a train, and then we drove in each day. We got there, so on the Friday, we were there all day Friday and Saturday, and we didn't go back on the Sunday. I think there were 80 people, like it was a big group, and I loved walking around, chatting and seeing all the beautiful work that everyone was doing. Really varied patterns. Just loved it. I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done, same as last year. That's okay. It's only part of the reason you go, isn't it? So I have some stuff here. Firstly, I'm going to pop a photo in. I didn't take any photos all weekend. I took one, the one I'm about to show you. So, oops. Anyway, pop a photo in here. These are in our little sort of bags that we all got. Now we have Reggie as well. And so Shona from Floss Anthology was there. She sells a really unique, really clever floss storage system where she's got plastic sleeves that have been, I probably shouldn't be explaining this because I'm not really sure how to. There's like tunnels, like vertical tunnels, and it comes with a little hook, and you can hook your skein through the tunnel, and then you just pick out one thread at a time as you use it. And it makes a really compact system. So she had hers there where she's got all the DMC range. And they just go into like binders, into folders. So really clever. And she included a little packet of musk sticks photo, if I've already put it in or just here. Musk sticks are lollies, if you're not familiar with them. Very yummy lollies. And she had, it was so clever, she had matched them to the DMC colour and packaged them up so that they looked like her floss storage system. So very, very clever. And I know you had a few sales there, Shona, and yeah, wish you all the best. I'll pop a link to her shop in the description box below. It's really, really cool system. Okay, then some goodies here. So Kristi from Once Upon a Needleminder was there. Hey Kristi. And she included a little zipper pull in everyone's bag. Very sweet. And you can find her on Instagram and Facebook. Now, because I was stitching mermaids, I had to get a few little mermaid goodies to put on my mermaid project bags. So I got from Kristi this little tail. Zipper pull, and another one. With the mermaid charm and the scales. And then this really pretty one too. Thank you, Kristi. I can now pop them on my project bags. Okay, what else? Then I got some goodies from Taryn from Teaser Handmaids. Again, I'll pop the link below. She makes project bags and grime guards and notion bags, and you name it, she could probably make it for you. I don't know if you can see Jemima. I don't think you can. She's just having a bath right next to me. I'm not sure what's gotten into her. She's usually very shy. I got a little mini project bag, which is perfect for travel stitching. Like, really small, with coffee on it, and I have already put my coffee piece in there. It's the perfect size for it. Oops. Oops, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So that is really nice for a little travel project bag. And then she had these little notion pouches. When I kit up a project, I do like to keep my threads in their own little bag if I can. And then when I'm stitching, I'll just sit there with the bag open next to me and reach in, so there's not sort of threads everywhere. And I got this little one. It's really pretty. It's just got a zip at the top. And then this one. Also very nice. And it's got black. So they're also small. So thanks, Taryn. And then let's have to rescue everything. Hopefully that's all okay down there. Teresa from Daisy Chain Stitchery was there. She had a pop-up shop. She had a lot of stuff for sale. I was fairly restrained. She has started doing hand-dyed fabrics, and I knew before I went that I was keen to have a look and see what she had. And actually I was really surprised at the range. So in terms of different fabric counts, Aidas through to, you know, linens, and the range in colours, it was amazing. I know she sold loads, so I hope you had a good weekend, Teresa. This just shows you how it's packaged really nicely with a, so the range is Whoopsie Daisy and cute charm. There's a charm on each of them. So this, I got 3 pieces of 40 count linen. This one's called Shady Lady. It's just really nice. This is Charcoal Grey. And Blue Sky. Really nicely done. That one's got an owl charm. So you can buy these from her website. Again, I'll pop a link below. But yeah, I love those. I have no idea what projects I'll stitch on them yet, but I know I'll find something beautiful. It's nice to have more options in Australia for these fabrics. Years ago we didn't really have any and you'd have to get everything from overseas, and now we've got a great range of local dyers. It's really great. There they all are. Also received a mug, and last but not least, Ginger Stitch AU were there, so that's Zane and Huss, and their very important mascot, Teddy the Corgi. How good is it that we had, not only did we have a stitching retreat, we had our own dog in the building, sitting just a few meters away. He is adorable and he's so well behaved. Really like their new packaging. I bought this needle minder, which is a flat, like resin one. So pretty. And yeah, that card's beautiful. And then I couldn't help myself. I love their thread drops or floss drops, whatever they call them. And I got some more, just a set of, come on. I can't remember which range this was, but how nice is that? Perfect for a small pattern with not too many threads. And then finally we had the smalls exchange, and I got the most amazing gift in a little bag. This is from Janelle. Thank you, Janelle. I don't know if she watches, but it's absolutely amazing. So we have some green and gold silks. There was some chocolate in there. There was a Freddo frog and a caramello koala. They no longer exist. A really pretty needle minder from Inchworm Designs. And this is incredible. Hopefully I can show you a little key ring, right? Little, tiny, with a quokka. Stitched 1/1. Okay. How cute is that? And then not only is there one quokka, there's also number 2, cheeky quokka, eating. It is amazing. So tiny, beautifully stitched. I don't know what to do with it because it needs to be, I don't want to, you know, put it away and lose track of it, but how beautiful. So amazing. All right. So that's everything for this time. Plans for June. So I've already said I am working on Firefly, so hopefully get some good progress in on that. And I'm going to keep working on the Pilgrim. Need to get my 4,000 odd stitches in on that. So next update might be fairly light on. I'm sure I'll stitch on other things too as they take my fancy. But one thing I have got in mind for sometime later this year, I can't remember who, I was watching someone on Flosstube. I can't remember who it was. But they talked about the piece they started on Leap Day last leap year, February 29th in 2020, and how next year we're at the leap year again. Can you believe it? Now I had a start on that day too, and I thought, of course I'll finish it by the next leap year. Nah. I have barely done anything on this. So I want to finish this by leap year, by February 29 next year. This is Blue Flower Night Walk Down. There was a finish of this at the retreat and it's really pretty, and it also reminded me that I need to get mine out. So, this is a 32 count, sorry I'd forgotten the fabric, it's been so long. It's a 32 count even weave from Jay's X Stitch, another Australian dyer. And it's called Strawberries and Cream. It's more cream and then strawberries. That is what I've done. So, I mean, I've done a bit. What I think I might do with this piece is put it into Pattern Keeper. So I've only got the paper copy, but now I'm pretty comfortable with scanning it and you know, doing what I need to do to get it into Pattern Keeper just so I can mark off stitches. And maybe that will, I don't know, make it more desirable to stitch on. I'm not sure. But I'm wondering how many of you out there have pieces that you started on February 29, 2020 that you have not finished yet? Let me know. Maybe there needs to be some sort of a hashtag. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this boat. But yeah, so don't know when I'll be working on that, but I have got it out of my pile of whips, out of the cupboard, to work on some stage this year. Alright, so that's everything for me. I'll aim to come back in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have maybe half a cat's head in 2 weeks. Yeah, half a cat's head maybe. We'll see. In the meantime, happy stitching. See ya.